something that I kind of want to get on camera because I feel like it'll help definitely a lot of people, but the right person. And with most of my content, right, I'm more thinking about like the right person that hears this at the right time. I have a belief, which is that you can't say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. And if you think about that, all it's saying is that if it's the right person, even if you say something off or not in the moment or whatever it is, that person doesn't really care, because they see who you are and they see how you communicate and they see your intentions. And so they just look right past whatever you said that was the wrong thing to the right person. And then if it's the wrong person, you could say anything. You could say the perfect thing. You could say everything right, everything perfect, but it's the wrong person. So they don't really care. And so I love this fundamental belief, because it also puts you at ease when you're talking to people, because automatically you're just like, whatever I say right now, if it's the wrong person, it's not going to land anyway. And if it's the right person, they're just going to get me and they're going to get it and they're going to look right past it if I say the wrong thing, blah, blah, blah. And if I say the right thing to the right person, even better. Amazing, sweet spot. But with that being said, the thing I wanted to kind of put on camera and just on record here that I feel like is so vitally important is the thought of like picking up inspiration in many different areas of life, not just from what you do. So your business, your life, how you run your relationships. There's just so many other areas that you could probably be pulling inspiration from. And one of those places for me is like in the business world anyway, and this works in relationships too, but just a lot on this channel, I'm going to be talking about business stuff. And it's the idea that you can pull inspiration and ideas from other business models and other industries. Because oftentimes in industries or in business models or whatever you do, most people are doing things the same way because that's just how they've seen it done. There's a famous story, I don't know if it was Les Brown or who said it. I heard this a long time ago, and there was this little story about how this guy's chopping off the ends of a ham because his mother told him to do that, to cook it, right? And he just asked one day, he's like, it feels like we're wasting a lot of ham here. Why do we always chop off the end of the ham to put it in the oven? And the mother goes, well, I don't know. We've just always kind of done it that way. But I believe it has something to do with the flavor of the ham or whatever. Well, luckily the great grandmother is alive. And so the guy's like, you know what? I'm just going to call and see the original reason. Like, why was this? Was there some legitimate reason? And the great grandmother laughs and says, and I don't know if it's grandmother, great grandmother, just pay attention to the point of the story, okay? Forget the details. And she laughs and says, no, that's the only pan size I had, so I had to cut it off to fit it in the pan. And it's just so funny how we pass things down. And I think I butchered that story. I think it was actually originally like the mother and then the grandmother, right? And then the great grandmother. And they get to the great grandmother, and the great grandmother laughs and says, no, I cut it off because that's the only pan size I had. And so it's just funny because people do things over and over and over again because that's how they've seen things done, which is probably there's a little moral in there around how we just copy people and also how we're raised, right? We kind of tend to do things that we've been raised around because that's all we know without really questioning it. And so it's kind of funny. But people do that in business all the time too. They're like, I don't know, this is just how everybody does it. Everybody in my business only in-person networks. They don't create any content. Or everyone in my industry only creates content and they never go in-person network. And so it's kind of this funny thing of like monkey see, monkey do. Whereas we have to remember that 80 to 90% of people in a certain industry actually don't get good results. It's the top 10%, the top 20% that gets any results, the top 10% that's actually getting great results, top 5% just crushing it, and the top 1% that rules overall. And the 0.1%, right, that is just the absolute elite. It works the same way in almost every single industry. 95% of real estate agents, believe it or not, have never even sold a home. Crazy, right? And so if you think about it, I just find so much inspiration from other business models and other industries because they're doing things in a totally different way that work for them. And so oftentimes you can just see something that's happening over here and go, let me try it over there. And bada bing, bada boom, it works. And you're like, wow, this is pretty crazy actually. I would have never thought that, fill in the blank, works in my space. or works in this other space. And so me personally, that's one reason I love running Founders Breakfast. And it's also just a reason that I love being around other high-level people doing things, you know, at elite levels. Like earlier I was with my boy. He picked up this SVR, which is a Range Rover. I actually didn't even know what it was. I thought I knew what it was until we went driving in it. And I was like, dude, this thing is an absolute animal. And he had it in a really special color that was kind of unique too. So anyway, we're in that car and we're talking about business models and everything. And I'm just thinking about like, wow, what he does is so good actually to think about some of those concepts and how they execute in terms of content for their business model is actually so effective in some of the accounts that we're working with, some of the growth partnerships we're working with. And then I was thinking, man, I love this. And this is why it's so valuable to get around other high level people doing what they do, because of the things that you can learn and pick up. And so anyway, that's the whole point of this video is, I mean, it had a couple of fun stories in there, but the whole point of this video is to say, keep your eyes open and pay attention and observe, because there's almost always things to pick up from other business models, other industries, so that you don't become one of the monkeys in your space. And so with that said, I hope you found some value in this. I'm going to be dropping videos, you know, probably, you know, in a style like this. I'm just picking up my phone right now and really sharing things as they come up. But in addition to that, you know, go ahead and follow the channel, because I will be putting out more high level stuff, interviews with some of the growth partnerships we have. Some of them we can talk about, some we can't, due to our contracts. But in general, I just want to bring helpful things on here that I know will help other business owners and other growth-minded people. And so with that being said, I'm going to end this video right here, but go check out the channel. I have some other cool stuff. I'll probably have some secret channels popping up here as I go too, because there's a lot of other areas of life that I want to like put out content on and have different separate conversations and just kind of see what sticks. I'm having a lot of fun talking about many different things with many different people. And so, hey, this channel right now is more for growth and business and stuff like that. And I may have some other channels for some other things in the near future. And with that being said, cheers, and I'll see you in the next video.